go ahead and do set
So
it up.
set it so it sits.
You got it? Okay, it's called Talisman. Okay. All right. Are you guys all ready? The ukulele keys ready? Online and offline?
Okay,
Here we go.
hold on.
Talisman. Look at the dog.
We've been rehearsing for 2 weeks. It may not show.
Where's the screen share? There we go.
We're gonna video it for you all.
Okay.
Ready.
Which one are you doing?
Tell us when.
This doesn't have the drum, does it?
Is everybody online ready? Do they look ready?
They look deeply ready.
Deeply ready.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Danny, Danny, Remy, teach us the ukulele. Danny, Danny, Remy, teach us the ukulele. Wednesday noon we meet on Zoom. Remy, teach us the ukulele. 12 are blues in our living room. Remy, teach us to sing on key. Danny, Danny, Remy, teach us to ukulele. Danny, Danny, Remy, teach us to ukulele. Come, Rabbi, tell us when, teach us little YouTubes. Remy, teach us the ukulele. Sorry. Come, Rabbi, tell us when, experts we will be soon. Remy, teach us to play for free. With our G string strung real tight, Remy, teach us to ukulele. Our voices ring out extra high. Remy, teach us to ukulele. Danny, Danny, Remy, teach us to ukulele. Happy birthday, Remy, with the light keys. Thank you, Remy, from the ukulele keys. That was awesome. That's a year of ukulele.
It was like a movie. I cried, I laughed,
That was so good.
that was awesome.
You've come a long way. I can attest from the days of listening to you in the office. From down, up. You know, like when my meetings are on that side and he was on this side, and I'm in my meetings and I'm like, like dancing. No one else can hear it. So now we want to play Happy Birthday for you.
Oh, okay.
So we put it's also on that email I sent you. Oh, this is your phone. So here's a couple. It's right there.
Okay, and what is this?
This happy birthday to you.
Whatever you want the stroke to be.
What did you say?
Ready?
Whatever.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rabbi. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
Oh, thank you, everyone.
That was a C7, not a G7.
That was so good! Bravo! Standing ovation! This is a little birthday cake from the ukulele.
Aww.
You may set inside for later. Very gluten free. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the kitchen. I'm gonna go run my errands.
Okay.
And then,
Will you put the dogs inside?
yeah, come on, doggies.
You like our non-deployment.
Here, I'll talk to you later.
It's good. I think it's good.
I'm not doing that.
I like
We're sizzling out, yes.
that. Was good.
So So we can do that again on Saturday night. Like if you'll put it up on the big screen so everyone can.
Saturday is canceled. Karen's grandmother died this morning. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
So, is she in Memphis?
Memphis. So we're gonna go to Memphis tomorrow.
Sick, I don't know.
She's been sick for a while, and she was one of the great, like, wonderful Southern belles of an amazing, amazing person. The first person in her family, like, made me feel like family. Yeah. She used to tell Karen that Karen could marry a woman. She could marry someone who was black or white or Asian, or it's the same thing you used to tell. She could, whatever, but if she brought home a Republican, that was the line. That was Mimi. She lived in the South, and she was happy to get into a fight with anyone in any grocery line. Okay, let's.
I thought he was gonna say if she brought home a rabbi. That was.
Oh no! Yeah, exactly.
No, that was my husband.
No, yeah, no. Actually, she would have been a rabbi if she was born in a different generation.
Yeah.
She always said that. Okay, let's do our Hawaiian vamp. Some of us who have joined more recently may not be as familiar with the Hawaiian vamp. Michelle, I'm not sure we've played it since you've been here. So just as a reminder with the Hawaiian vamp, it is in some ways similar to 12-bar blues in the sense that it is a set thing that is done over and over again and speaks to sort of a certain flavor. So in the same way that the 12-bar blues give us the core of our Americana, this gives us the core of sort of a classic Hawaiian kind of sound. Oops, sorry, people are moving around. No, use that chair, Mom. That doesn't have the arms, and that so makes it easier for ukulele. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to do this progression, which is the 2 chord to the 7 chord to the 1 chord. So this is going to be a little different for our ears because we're used to the 1 chord, the key that we're in being the first chord that we play, and instead it's going to be the last key. So we're going to start in the key of C. We're going to start in the key of C. I'm waiting for the folks here to get.
We just lost
We
it.
lost it. Launch meeting.
No, we don't lost it. There we go. Pretty good. You know what? Rather
Mom,
Daniel,
stand up. Mom, stand up. Let me give you the.
Rather Daniel,
Is that?
how do you use this?
We wanna elevate this, and we can't do it.
Sorry, everyone on Zoom. We're having in-person problems here. What's the issue?
How do you open it up so we can stand?
Well,
I know there's a record. Oh.
And did you grab my phone?
But this doesn't appear. It feels like you're missing a piece of this case, Mama Judy.
Okay.
Yeah. There's definitely a piece of this case missing.
We need
No,
some.
no. There you go.
Just don't touch it.
Don't touch.
I just want to touch
Right.
it. Exactly.
Did you grab my phone? I'm waiting to hear from
Oh,
you.
yep, it's over here. Okay, let's go ahead and do our vamp. So our first 3 chords are D7. I like to play this with my 2nd and my 3rd finger here, but you can do it however you want. I think it's particularly easy going from a D7 to a G7 with your 2nd and your 3rd fingers, because then these fingers just move down and your index finger drops in. And then to our C. So I find this one to be really, I like it physically on the ukulele, right? Because you're starting here, and then you're moving just down a string and adding in the index, and then that ring finger is just sliding up a fret. So you can even do that kind of.
I know with my baby.
You know, Grandma Judy, I always say that I play guitar on the ukulele. You play bass on the ukulele. I actually saw they make a ukulele bass. Have you seen this?
Oh, they make a baritone. I started with the baritone.
This is a bass, strung like a bass, low like a bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and play. So here we go. So we've got our D7, we've got our G7, we've got our C, and let's give it a little rhythm. So this rhythm here, let's try this. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down. That first down is kind of a bounce. Just try this. Bounce down, up, bounce down, up, bounce down, up, bounce down, up, bounce down, up. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 of those, and then we go on. Here we go. Now D7, G7, and C. And we get 4 of them for the C. Again, D7, G7, and C. D7, G7, and C. D7, G7, and C. And it's called a vamp because in the same way that you can kind of sit there and make up words for 12-bar blues, right, you can kind of make up your own Hawaiian song with this. You can try that other D7 if you want. Right, just another shape for the D7, the one below it. Okay, how'd that feel? Okay, let's try it on or in the key of G instead. So I'm gonna go ahead and just play something quickly in the key of G to get it into our ear, because otherwise it's hard to switch to it because we're not starting with it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to play this, go through our chords. We've got our A7, really easy chord to play. We're just taking our index finger, putting it on the first fret of the second string, the C string.
Still have the Hawaiian vamp.
Yep, it's right below it. It's the bottom line of the Hawaiian vamp that we're doing now, instead of the top line.
Yeah, we're playing right here. Those 4 chords.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I know it's not labeled on here very well. I just kind of have it in there. So we've got our A7, then we've got our D7, and then our G. And I like this other D7, the one right here in the middle for the key of G here, but whatever's easier for you. So we've got our A,
Yeah, G7. Is it G7? G7.
just a regular G at the end here. We've got an A7, a D7, and a G. Because that's what the Hawaiian vamp is. It's the 2-7, the 2 chord is a 7th chord. It is the 5 chord as a 7th chord, and then it's the 1 as a regular chord. So here we go. A7, D7, and G. Again, A7, D7, and G. Here we go, A7, D7, and G. One more time, A7, D7, and G. Okay, sounded good here. How'd that feel for everyone on Zoom? Ish? It was your first time playing through this, Michelle. Don't be hard on yourself. Right, and this both gives us a sort of a Hawaiian feel, which feels appropriate for ukulele, but it's also a good way to work on our 7th chords along with our blues. Okay. Look.
Like a Hawaiian day outside.
Yeah, it's beautiful here in St. Louis. Just beautiful.
Amy and I will do a hula after this is over.
There you go.
For yourself, right?
Okay, we feeling the blues today?
He does me too well.
Let's play some blues.
If Daniel will play.
Stuck in the Office on a Nice Day Blues by Kathleen. Yes. Kathleen just typed it into the chat.
Great.
Love it. Okay, let's try this in the key of G. So we got a G7. We got a C7. And we got the D7 again. Or play the other D7. Right, you can play that D7 with 2 fingers, or you can do that semi-bar D7. This one feels a lot harder to me. You can try, by the way, this semi-bar thing. Let me show you. It's the one in yellow. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Sarah. So yeah, there's all sorts of ways you can do that, whatever works best for you. You can use your finger to totally bar it across there, right? And then you just drop in the finger. What was this chord that we're playing? I forgot which.
The D7, the 8th.
Oh, the D7, yep. Right, so you can do it like that with the whole finger across. You can do it like this, which I'm doing, where I'm leaving that bottom one to ring. And then doing it like that. You can do it with your second finger and your third finger. I've seen some people do it this way. Some people might find that a little easier. And with all of these, you're going to shift so that your thumb is pushing on the back of the neck of the ukulele to give you some counterweight, some leverage there. Okay, let's switch back. There we go. Okay, and sorry, let me make it so I can see all of the Zoomer faces. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and play these. You can do whichever G7 you want, that one. Sorry, whichever D7 you want, that one or that one. Or switch back and forth for flavor. Okay, so we've got our G7, our C7, our D7, and back home to our G7. So our 1 is our G7 chord. Okay, here we go. Let's get into a rhythm. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, up, down, up, down, 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 down, up. If this is hard, remember, just go to the straight rhythm. Down, up, 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 down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Here we go. Here we go from the top. G7, C7, back to G7. Second time. Now C7. Back to G7. Here comes the D7. C7. G7. Turn it around at the D7. Is this a little fast for us? We're going to try it double time, half time instead. So we'll do each one twice as long. We'll keep it at the same speed, but we'll do the chord twice as long. To the top. Here we go, G7 now. G7. G7. Now C7. C7. Back to G7. G7. Here we go, second line, C7. Back to G7. Now D7, C7, back to G7, turn around with D7, back home, G7, G7, C7, G7, G7 again. Now C7. C7. Here we go, G7. D7. C7. G7. Turn it around with D7. And let's end on G7. Sounded good here. How did it feel to everyone?
Good.
It's fun to play blues with people around you, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Really nice in person.
It's so beautiful here in person. I know.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Harder chords. Same blues. F7. So remember with your F7, play an F, and then drop in that ring finger for the 7. Then we've got our B flat 7, maybe our toughest chord. Again, we're going to bar. Just a little bit of music theory for a second. We had our A7 a few songs ago that looks like this, right? Let me switch it so it's zoomed out. There you go. This is our A7, right? Normally we play with our first finger, but I'm playing it with my middle finger here. This is our A7. So if we slide it up 1 fret, after A comes B, or B flat before the B, right? So that's the B flat. And then all we're doing is we're sliding these strings up 1 fret too, right? This chord is the A7. Here's the B flat 7, here's a B7, here's a C7, C sharp 7, right? It keeps going all the way up. You can keep the same shape, and it is the same shape as this. But what the nut is doing right here to block these and make it an open, our index finger does. Okay, just a little bit of,
So is this C7?
that is a, yeah, that's a C7. And you can hear it, Grandma Judy, you were playing it, right? Like, so you play that C7, and it's the exact same as this other C7.
You just moved it. Oh, wait a minute, you just moved it.
It feels, I mean, it sounds different, right? It's a whole different vibe when you play it like that.
So you bar the 3rd?
You bar the 3rd, you put that finger down. That's a C7, right? Because we've got our A, B flat, B, C. Okay, let's go ahead and play. So that's our B7 right there, and we've got our C7, which is one of our most familiar chords. Okay, so we've got our,
We could do this, and we could like this, and then we could just go like that.
oh yeah, that was great, that was great. I'm going to show this to everyone,
We could bar both of them.
what they just did, what Amy just did, because this is good, right? So you've got first our, what key are we in? Sorry, I keep going away. F7. I don't have 2 screens today. First we have our F7, then we have our B flat 7, and then we can just slide up 2 frets and make it our C7, and back to our F7. Sure, you can absolutely do that, right? So B flat, B, C, C sharp, D. I probably want to do this shape, so instead let's try a different shape and slide it up, right? So we have another 7th chord shape. We have a C7, right? So let's try what happens when we slide that one up. So that's this shape, right? C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F.
Is this F7? That's what you're talking about, right? Going down there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, anyways, it's probably a little more than I would do for this. But if anyone wants to play, that's exactly the way to start thinking. And that conceptually, I hope the Zoomers were able to catch on to this too, because the in-person people did. Right? That's conceptually the whole idea with bar chords and with any chord. Right? You can do this with any chord. Play your F for a second. Right? But play it with your 2nd and your 3rd fingers instead of your 1st and your 2nd. And then what you can do is you can slide it up a fret and use that other finger to bar. Right? It works with every single chord. You got your C. So all your chords will slide like that. And you can have all these variations on how you play a chord. Okay, let's actually play some music here. So we've got our F7, we've got our B flat 7, we've got our C7, and we've got our F7. Okay, we'll take this one a little slower. It's tougher chords. Here we go. F7. Here we go. F7. Now B flat 7. F7. Now B flat 7. Back to F7. Now C7. B flat 7. F7. Sorry, I think I switched to double time there. Let's try that last line again. Here we go. C7. 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 Now B flat 7. Back to F7. Now turn it around with C7. Back home, F7. F7. B flat 7. Back to F7. B flat 7. Back to F7. Here we go, C7. B flat 7. F7. C7. And end on an F7. So it all, if you want to do this too, it all starts back over at the 12th fret. So there are 12 frets and then it starts back over. So this note is just an octave up from the main one. So you should have your ukuleles marked at the 12th fret. Almost certainly you have probably 2 dots. Go ahead and look at it. And you should have 2 dots. It'll be right up near where the neck meets the body. You might only have 1 dot there. Right, so that's probably your 12th right there. Remember, Judy, that's your 12th right there.
Okay, and so what do we do with that?
Ray, your 12th is going to be right there.
And the 12th is what?
Mom, your 12th is the double right there. So the 12th fret is where it starts back over. So this note is a G. And if you put your finger on the 12th fret, this is also a G. So all of your chord shapes, you don't have any dots, Sean? No dots at all, really? What about on the fretboard itself? What about here? No dots?
I mean, there are the dots on the fretboard, but there's not like on the side or anything.
Yeah, some have it, some don't. Yeah, it's one of the things you can pay for in a real fancy uke too, by the way, is that they get real intricate with stuff. Okay, so what I'm saying though is that since it all starts back over, your same chord shape, so you play an F here, or an F7, I can slide it up so that instead I'm treating this 12th fret like it's the beginning. No, because this note here is open and this note here is the same note. So anyways, you don't use it often, but it can be a fun turnaround kind of thing, right? So we've got our F7, we've got our B flat 7, and then we turn it around with the C7. So their C7's the easiest. Just gives it kind of a fun little, so you're gonna go up 1 more fret, Amy, because it's on the 1st fret, which means it'll be on the 13th fret now. The 12th fret, the double is like the open one. Anyways, we're doing a lot of...
Wait,
The double one, the 12th fret, is the same as open.
Oh.
So if you're supposed to put your finger on the 1st fret, you'd instead put it on the 1st fret after the 12th fret, which is the 13th.
Oh, that's fun. For the turnaround.
So yeah, right, just a little something to add in. Okay, let's play some more. No more G, no more blues. Let's do. Let's do Olam Chesed. You only have 12 frets on your, Sean. You must be playing a soprano, huh?
It is a soprano. It's
Yep.
very small.
Yep, exactly. So if you're on a soprano, you may find that. And that's pretty normal, that you'll have instruments that have different numbers of frets. Even in guitars, different brands have different numbers of frets that they use, and how high up you can go. The other big thing that's making a difference if you're buying a ukulele or any string instrument is how many frets to the body. So these are 14 fret instruments. That's what mine is, at least, is a 14 fret instrument. But in guitars, for instance, there's a real big difference between a 12 fret instrument and a 14, meaning where it meets the body. Does the body meet the neck at the 12th fret or the 14th fret? It really can change the tone and the sound quite a bit. Okay, let's go ahead. 14th fret, by the way, would be your standard kind of setup. Okay, so let's play Olam Chesed. We've got our A minor. We've got our G. Oh, sorry, I didn't play an A minor. We've got our A minor. We've got our G. We've got our F. We've got our C. Okay, let's go ahead and try this. Look at that A minor and I play the wrong chord. Play the guitar version. Yeah, I keep doing it. Yep. Just find yourself in the rhythm. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Oh yeah, there you go, Amy, getting fancy. One more fret up, Amy. Because it's the 2nd fret, which means you should be on the 14th fret. Amy's sliding up for those who are on Zoom. Okay, here we go. A minor. Now go to G. Go to F. And to G. A minor. A minor. Then go to G. And F. Now G. A minor. Here comes C, 2nd line. C, Lam, Chesed. Here comes G. And F. And G. And A minor. Now C, that line again. C. F. And G. And A minor. Okay, let me show you one more thing that I'm doing here. We've done this once before. I don't remember what song we did it on. But so when I'm going from that F to the G at the end of the line or in the middle of the line, I'm going F, and then I am sliding my F chord up 2 frets. And I'm letting those other strings ring out. So it's going to be some sort of weird G add 9 plus 11 or whatever it is, technically. So the move then, the last 3 chords of that line is F, and then you slide those fingers up 2 frets, and call that a G. So play an F, everyone. Slide it up, and then you can just slide back down with your middle finger to the A minor. So Ray, play your F for a second. Play just a regular F chord. Now go ahead and slide that up 2 frets. There you go. Call that your G chord now. And then slide down to the A minor. And that's the move. Should sound like this. If it's hard for you, you can just play the regular G. This is just another way. So it's F, weird G, and A minor. Those the last 3 chords. Okay, that's it. Where are you coming from, mister? Sorry, the dog just walked in from somewhere he's not supposed to be able to walk to. Here we go. A minor. Now go to G, regular G now, good. Now F, F, go ahead and slide it up, and A minor. Top of the line again. A minor, now go to G. F, goes to G, goes to A minor. let's try singing it. Olam chesedi bachi. Yada F, yada G, yada A minor. Again. Olam chesedi bane. Yada F, yada G, yada A minor. Second line. Olam chesedi bane. Now F, F. Yada yada. Second line again. C. Olam chesedi bane. F, G, A minor. Okay, let's play that same song in a different key. Does anyone see? Did I bring? I thought I brought out my tuner out here somewhere. Oh, it's in my pocket. I can hear my ukulele going out of tune. One thing for those of you who are playing outside and don't normally play outside that you will notice is your ukulele will go out of tune.
Yours aren't that key. Just pick that up.
No, it's got to be the opposite, Amy. You've always got to be fiddling with your tuning. It's like the tennis player who misses the shot and then looks at the racket. There must be a hole in here.
Can you, when you take your F and you slide it up 2 frets to make a G, can you sus that G?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you can get all sorts of fancy with this. Yeah. Okay, let's try this in a different key now. So we've got it. Instead, we've got our D minor chord, and then our C, and we've got our B flat. Everyone's favorite chord. Remember, if you're having trouble with the B flat, point that uke away from you. This is really like, look at this, right? I'm literally pushing the back into me, and I'm playing it like this. I'm calling this the Michelle method. We're naming this after you. And the same way, by the way, you can take this F and you can slide it up 2 frets, and you got a G. Oh, sorry, I said, no. Ignore everything I said. You can take this B flat, and you can slide it up 2 frets and you have a C. Sorry, I gave you the chord names in guitar language. B flat slides up 2 frets and turns into a C. Yeah, it helps to really point it away because it gets the wrist angle different. That if you're having trouble with the B flat, point that neck away from you. I mean, truly point it straight away from you like I am right now. Because it makes your left hand's wrist angle go to the appropriate angle. And then what you want to do, if you want to move it back, is once you've got, actually Ray, you're at perfect right there. And one of the things you'll start doing, Ray's at about this angle. That's about perfect. That's our goal. If you can't do that, start here and then move it back here. And one of the things you should start doing is naturally let the ukulele's head move a little bit with your wrist angle. So if I'm playing a C, it can be back here, but if I, right, like our C, but if I want to be flat, I might move it out a little bit. Your arms are not too short. Not possible. Not possible. Again, right, like if this is not possible though, then this is where we're ultimately trying to get to. But, I mean, that's coming out of me at a 45-degree angle. Right here's 90, here's 45, here's 0. 45 is where we want to be on a B flat. Or 40 or something like that, but yeah. Okay, so we've got our 3 chords. D minor, C, B flat, and then we've got our F, of course. And another bit of theory. Sorry, we're doing a lot of theory today, but so D minor and F are the relative major and minor of each other. Remember, this is the same thing as the 1 and the 6. So if we're going to call F our 1, then it's F, G, A, B, C, D. So the 6 is the D minor, right, for the F. but we can really see that they're almost identical. They're called the relative major and minor because of the 3 notes in a chord, they share 2. So we have our F, and we can really see it with the F and the D minor, right? Because we've got our F, and the only thing that changes to make it a D minor so we really see it there, that they are related to each other. Okay, so let's try this, starting with our D minor. Here we go, from the top. D minor, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. D minor, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. Now F, here we go, now F, lam, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. Oh, F, lam, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. From the top, D minor, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. D minor, chesed yeba C, B flat, C, and D minor. Now F, lam, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. F, lam, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. Okay.
Isn't the D minor way up here?
So I'm going to show you what Amy's asking a question about sliding up. I'm going to show you a different way, and this is how I was doing it. So go ahead and play your B flat for a second. Everyone play your B flat. Let me do the close up for you Zoomers. There you go. So we've got our B flat, right? Slide up that B flat 2 frets. We got a C. Now, this may be hard, but slide up. So C, and our next chord that we're going to is D minor, right? So we know if we're on a C already that a D minor is going to be close to where we are, right? So we're on a C, so slide up 2 more frets. And what you're going to do is you're going to need to take your first finger, 3 strings, and you're going to lift up your middle. This is actually the same as an A minor slid all the way up, right? We've got our A minor. If we bar then, it turns into a B flat minor, B minor, C sharp minor, and then we get a D minor right here. Which is to say that when we're moving it, we can do B flat, slide up 2 to the C, slide up 2 and change it just a little bit and get a D minor. There you go, Amy. So the move is so you can bar it all the way up, which gives it a different kind of flavor, right? As opposed to not one better, not one worse, but it's a different flavor that you get there.
The second one is cleaner. It sounds cleaner.
Yes, the second one definitely sounds cleaner, right? As you go up, it becomes a little more percussive almost.
Can you do one more time the whole thing, D and D minor? Can we play that?
Oh,
again?
play the song again in D minor. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. I just didn't understand what you were saying.
Play with these things.
Yep, let's play it one more time. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. D minor, chesed yeba C, B flat, and C, and D minor. D minor, chesed yeba C, yida B flat. I to C, I to D minor. Now F comes. F, lam, chesed, yeba, C. And B flat, and C, and D minor. F, lam, chesed, yeba, C. B flat, and C, and D minor. Amy, I see you practicing the slide. Try this way, play your B flat. Except on your B flat, see if you can get that index finger to cover all 3 strings instead of just 2. And then when you slide up again, and then you slide up the 3rd time, and all you have to do is lift up then your middle finger. Lift up the middle.
Oh, the middle finger.
So then all that's changing is you're lifting your middle.
Do I lift up this finger?
No, that finger stays there, like this, watch. So that you're not changing your hand position, which is the beauty of a bar chord. Yep. Okay, we only have 5 minutes left, so we are not going to do Hallelujah today. We will start with that next time. So let's just play. That's exactly what I was going to say, is let's do David Melech. We haven't done that.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't done that one in a while. I don't know how to make it so you can see me and see the chord, so I will go away.
There's no N on that.
Okay, so here we go. So let's go over our chords. As always, we've got our D minor. We've got our C. We've got our C7. We've got our B flat. We've got our C. We've got our D minor. You can do that same move here on the second line, right? We've got our F. And we've got our C7. Okay, these are all familiar chords that we were just playing. So here's my strum. Bounce down, up, down, up, 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 bounce. Okay, here we go. From the top, here we go now. David Melech, Melech Israel, C. David Melech, Melech Israel, D minor. David Melech, Melech Israel, C. Melech Israel, B flat, C, D minor, B flat, C, D minor. Oh, D minor and C and B flat. Oh, D minor and C and B flat. F goes to C, goes to B flat, goes to C, goes to B flat, goes to C, goes to D minor. And if you are experimenting with those bar chords, this is a great song to experiment with, because that whole line, that whole bottom line that you did, you can do that way, right? F goes to C, goes to B flat, goes to C, goes to B flat, goes to C, goes to D minor. So you can sort of spend that second half of that on there. If you want to practice that, but you don't have to. Again, these are just more flavors to add. Okay, it was good being with everyone. Thanks for the birthday songs. That was a treat.